Well, good day, everybody. It is noontime on Saturday. I guess this would be Halloween evening, which is also my baby sister's birthday around midnight, so there you go. Anyway, I just went into the Publix in Fort Walton by Brooks Bridge. And oh my gosh, the girl at the customer service desk was a pain in the butt. I had her scan some tickets of mine because they had to be printed so I can use those for my taxes because they have to be printed for the CPA. And she's trying to run them through the side machine, the light machine. Said I don't need that. Well, I have to do it because I don't have much money. I said, just run them through the big machine, please, so they'll be printed. I just don't have money. I said, what's your limit on your pay over here? $500. And I said, well, I wouldn't worry about it then. I said, it'd be fine. Just run it through the big machine. Shit, like 6-7 times she's saying the same garbage over and over again, having a fit. So how is it that a grocery store is out of money? Because I'm going to tell you something. I managed a grocery store for several years out by Memphis. And I promise you, we had to count and recount that safe all day long. And we had a huge amount of money in a very small safe. And that was several years ago. But I'm telling you, a grocery store has money. And I don't care to put the lottery money separate. Because a grocery store has money. Because a lot of people just cash that card in. They don't even get cash back. They just get more cards. They figure if they win, they just buy more cards, which that's not winning. Winning is how much you put out and how much you get back. I had a friend of mine, Barry. He's deceased now, out in West Helena, Arkansas, and he used to be the electronics instructor on electrical classes at the college that I went to, and he was always at the casino, and they're like, "Oh, Barry hit for 10,000. Oh, Barry hit for 50,000." And it was like, wow. And so, you know, he was always hitting. Everybody saying, oh, Barry hit at the casino. And it was like, gosh, that's great. He was hitting all these big numbers, you know. And, but the only thing is, like, you know, I asked him, I said, well, you know, what are you going to do with your money? And start buying rental properties? Because that's what I was doing. I was getting ready to buy 5 houses and use them for rental properties. I already had the renters lined up, people that would rent from me, and they would do the maintenance on it for me to help me out, and I would pay for the supplies and trade them off and rent too. And so he's like, no. And it was like, well, I mean, I don't understand. All these big dollars are hitting over there at the casino. Why is it that I love those buildings right there? Why is it that you know, aren't going to invest that money in some property? Which was very reasonable back then. You could buy, I think the highest price house down there was about $125K, and it was pretty ultra, up on a hill, and it was tri-level. But most houses around that day and age were $30K. So anyway, I said, I heard you hit big yesterday. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I hit really big yesterday. And it's like, gosh, that's great. And I said, so how much you end up walking out with? He said, well, you know, I hit, you know, like 65K. And I was there for several hours. And God, that's great. And how much did you end up walking out with? And he was like, nothing. But I mean, it was free money. And I was like, oh. So to him, it was just paying for him to play. But he didn't have the common sense enough to walk away or take half of it and put it up and then just play the other half off. At least you got some money. And he just spent it all and never have a penny out of it. Barry Rowe was his name. Barry Rowe. Brilliant guy, except he just didn't know how to gamble. But yeah, that's not called winning. I like this Days Inn right here. I've stayed there many times through the years. And they have free breakfast in the morning. And I'm not talking about donated coffee. I'm talking about, like, you know, you make your own waffles and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So if you figure $10 a person for breakfast in a tourist area, so you take $20 off what you're paying for the hotel right off the top, and it really works out to be a fairly good deal. Right now it's winter rates, because in this part of Florida, the winter is usually pretty dead. I'm allergic to something. The hotels go down. The big money here is spring. That is the biggest money for the season. And then the other, you know, seasons do okay. It's just the winter one is not good. So, if you're in, you know, the lower part of Florida, like Tampa and below, the Tampa area does outrageously well in the wintertime. A lot of money in the wintertime. And so it's kind of opposing to here. This tourist area is good in the spring. And I'll tell you a lot of why the lower Florida areas do better in the wintertime is because there's a huge amount of tourism coming from like Canada and Tennessee and all that stuff. They're trying to get out of the ultra cold weather and go somewhere fairly decent, and so they will go to Florida. I need to go up to Annapolis Naval Academy again and go visit my dad. They have pumpkins. Right now it's 70 degrees. It was cold this morning. I went out for the sunrise. It was a blast. The moon was outrageous. It was just like you could reach up and grab it. Big giant full moon. Clear as a bell. This street. Still moving. I've got a load right now. I don't like to leave this stuff in the heat, especially if it's shoes nut, because it ruins the glue in the shoes. Well, that other light is a pain in the butt. It takes forever to get through that other light. If you go to that Publix, they have drink machine over there, and it's $2 for that cappuccino right there. I say yes. Yeah. And again, the JCPenney finally closed out, and about 2 days later, they had the 2 men in the truck teams come down to empty out what was left. Well, they sure had some gorgeous furniture in there. I would have liked to have bought, but I'm in the process of moving now. I sold a lot of furniture off just so I didn't have to carry it, or pay to store it. Because you get me near storages, man, I've got all kinds of stuff. I load them up. And I really am going to try this time not to put as much furniture in to save me money. Right now I've got 3 storages. And I went in yesterday, got another one, and I bought the wrong size. I needed to go up a little bit. And I totally bought the wrong size. I went, well, what the hell. So, gotta move some stuff around and sort. I'm getting pretty close. I just don't know how much more room I need. I may have to go ahead and pay this other one, and then they'll let you move them around anytime. They don't care. They're really nice over there. So if I change my mind, want a bigger one or whatever, they'll make adjustments right there and switch me. I don't like to put everything in one. I was hoping I would fit in just one, but no. Yeah, I don't like to put everything in just one storage. It makes me nervous. Okay, so let's see if you get one storage empty, save some of the bill. So here we go. Let's take this load in. And they're hiring at this place in Mariester. It's called Absolute Storage. They need somebody 3 days a week. And they have some benefits too. It's pretty cool. Alright, let me go get this load running. I'll see you guys in a little bit.